Few women in history have stirred as much controversy, passion, and political chaos as Lola Montez. She was beautiful, fiery, and utterly ungovernable, a courtesan, a dancer, a seductress, and, most importantly, a woman who refused to obey the rules. But perhaps her greatest claim to fame was that she managed to enchant a king, wrap him around her little finger, and in doing so, set an entire country on fire. Lola Montez wasn't even her real name. She was born Eliza Rosanna Gilbert in 1821 in Ireland, far from the courts and palaces where she would later make history. But Eliza wasn't interested in the quiet life of an Irish girl. She craved excitement, danger, and above all, power. She reinvented herself as a Spanish dancer, adopted the exotic name Lola Montez, and with sheer confidence and determination, worked her way into the highest circles of European society. Lola wasn't the greatest dancer, but she didn't need to be. Her performances were more about attitude than technique. She danced with a wild, untamed energy, flashing her eyes, tossing her hair, and making men believe she was something more than a mere performer. She was a fantasy made real. And among those enchanted by her spell was none other than Ludwig I, the King of Bavaria. Ludwig was an old man when he met Lola, but that didn't stop him from falling head over heels for her. He was instantly captivated by her beauty, her charm, and most of all, her complete disregard for propriety. She was unlike any woman he had ever known, and he wanted her by his side, at any cost, and there was a cost. Ludwig made Lola his official mistress, showering her with gifts, granting her noble titles, and even allowing her to have a say in political matters. But Bavaria was not amused. The people despised Lola. She was seen as a foreign seductress, a woman who had bewitched their king and was now interfering in the affairs of the state. The Bavarian court was horrified. Ministers, nobles, and even the church pleaded with Ludwig to end his scandalous affair. But the king refused. He ignored the warnings, dismissed the criticisms, and stood by Lola's side, believing that his love for her was more important than the approval of his people. But Lola was not the kind of woman to sit quietly in the background. She was bold, outspoken, and completely unafraid of making enemies. She publicly insulted politicians, humiliated noblewomen, and, in one particularly infamous incident, whipped an officer with a riding crop in the streets of Munich. She was fearless, but also reckless. The Bavarians had had enough. In 1848, the people took to the streets, demanding that Lola be expelled from the country. A full-blown revolution erupted, and as the protests grew more violent, Ludwig was finally forced to make a choice, his throne or his mistress. He chose Lola. For a brief moment, it seemed like he would defy the people and stand by her. But revolutions have a way of making kings rethink their decisions. As the riots escalated and his rule became increasingly unstable, Ludwig was left with no choice but to banish Lola from Bavaria. But the damage had been done. The scandal had weakened Ludwig's reign beyond repair. Just months after Lola was expelled, Ludwig was forced to abdicate the throne, bringing an end to his rule and cementing Lola Montez's place in history as the courtesan who had toppled a king. And what did Lola do after bringing down a monarchy? She moved on, as she always did. She traveled across Europe, then to the United States, where she reinvented herself once again, this time as a lecturer, telling the world about her adventures and giving advice on beauty and charm. But time catches up with even the most legendary women. By her 40s, Lola's health had deteriorated, and the wild spirit that had once shaken a kingdom was fading. She died of tertiary syphilis in 1861 at the age of 39, leaving behind a legacy that was as scandalous as it was unforgettable. Lola Montez was many things: a dancer, a courtesan, a political force, and a woman who refused to be controlled. She proved that charm could be more powerful than armies, that beauty could break empires, and that a single woman, armed with confidence and a bit of madness, could bring even a king to his knees.